card advantage in the later games. And one crazy thing that is going to be really good for Crane is he has 4 submerge in sideboard where I only see a single submerge.
Yeah. That's pretty low, actually, I think.
It's very low.
I'm used to seeing a lot more submerges in this deck, but...
yeah, he wanted to be all over the place. His sideboard's kind of scattered.
Yeah, he looks like he's got 11 one-ofs in the sideboard.
Yeah.
And,
great. I'm glad to come into the booth and find a Rug Delver mirror.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are thinking at home, but I'm excited for this match.
I mean, this is technically the first Rug Delver mirror whole match we're going to get to see. The last time, like I said, we had one game. It was just the game 3, and it was Delver mirror, and it was pretty quick. So it wasn't.
Yeah, it's a very interactive matchup where both players are trying to get on the board with cards like Nimble Mongoose and Tarmogoyf. Delver Secret is actually one of the weakest cards because there's so much red burn, and you also see some games where they're just won by Wasteland. So sometimes it's more important to keep a hand with fixing like Brainstorm and Ponder when you're like land light, where you see this like slow interaction, even though this deck is the aggressor in almost every other matchup.
Yeah, it's an interesting match, definitely as a mirror match. Did you talk to Drew yesterday at all? About Rug Delver? He was talking about Mog Fanatic. He's kind of raving about Mog Fanatic.
No. The biggest problem I have with Rug right now is that there's no Tundras in the format, and Nimble Mongoose is best against Tundra.
Right, and that's something that Drew had mentioned.
Yeah, so he wants to like find a replacement for
Mongoose,
Nimble Mongoose,
yeah.
but Mog Fanatic's not great. But so we got Eric Mill on the right now with a Tropical Island.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his justification for Mog Fanatic, I mean, it does have tons of targets. Delver, Mother of Runes, Narcomoeba, breaks up Bridge from Below just on its own.
Does not beat Hypergenesis.
That's true.
Wow.
Kills Thalia out of Maverick also.
So it looks like Kane Mulligan, and his hand's pretty slow. And you'll see that this is actually a decent play, just trying to get that Nimble Mongoose off the board.
So after a little flurry of counter spells, we're left with just a Nimble Mongoose on board.
Yeah.
Kurt plays Land and Delver. And Eric with just a 1/1 Mongoose there.
Yeah, it'll take a couple turns for that to get feisty, but once it does...
Yeah. I mean, that applies to both Delver and Mongoose. And there's Delver.
And a daze.
And a daze from Kurt. So Kurt, not afraid to just counter everything he can, everything Eric can muster.
And I like Eric's hand right now. I mean, we only have one land, but we do have a Ponder and a Lightning Bolt, along with his own Nimble Mongoose. And yeah, good play by Kurt, just pondering, getting deeper into his deck. Ooh, if that Sylvan Library resolves, that's almost game over.
Yeah, it looks like Sylvan Library. Is that
It's a sack land, Flooded Strand.
Okay, and Bolt, Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, he won't want the Bolt. He's probably just going to get that Sylvan and try to slam that on the table, because even if that gets countered, it's like if it gets countered, you got your spell counter. But if that resolves, that's almost game over. It's so important to like just have that ability to like look through your deck. Especially when Eric is just stuck with a 1/1 Nimble Mongoose, and I don't know what other relevant spells are in his hand. It seems like he's got a force to stop it, but...
And Eric untaps, draws, I think...
A Snipe.
Okay. I'm just trying to see if that's actually a Force of Will. I don't think it is.
Oh, is it a Brainstorm?
It might. It looks more pinkish to me, like the Brainstorm. But, oh wait, no, that's Force. Okay,
we found one. The red-blue card.
Right, exactly. So
blue card.
yeah, exactly. So Eric ponders into a Force, and I think he left that on top. Drew it. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna hold back on Stifle and Force of Will, which is just fine.
Swing with the Mongoose. Still a little one. Can't quite tell how many cards are in Eric's graveyard, but I don't think he has Threshold just yet.
Almost every single card that Eric could potentially have in his hand beats the potential of the Sylvan Library, so Kurt's going to get stuck with just one land now, and he's going to draw a Lightning Bolt, and it's kind of bad. He's Ponder locked for a couple turns.
Yeah, so that's Stifle on Kurt's fetch land. It's just a 1-mana Stone Rain.
I can't see him Force of Will in this Nimble Mongoose. And he's going to, wow.
So yeah, Force of Will from Eric Rill, removing Brainstorm.
goes to 17 down to 16. And
Takes a
we are
hit from the Delver.
I think we're 2 cards away from the almighty Nimble Mongoose.
Scavenging Ooze from Eric.
Who's the boss?
Exactly.
This is actually really bad for Kurt. I thought they were going to dance for a little bit more, but Eric's going hyper aggressive like he wants to as a Stifle version, and he's just going to start eating cards with Scavenging Ooze. And because Kurt only has Lightning Bolt on hand and on top, like, we already know where this game's going.
Eric cracking a Wooded Foothills there. Gets a Taiga.
Does that actually give him?
It's close. It may be. It's either 6 or 7.
Yeah. We'll find out soon enough.
Exactly.
Jeremy's on it.
And there's the Bolt on top to flip the Delver. Swing for 3.
Get you to 12.
Kurt hoping there's a land in his future.
It's too late. The Scavenging Ooze is now out of range of any Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
The life gain and the damage is going to be able to race the 3-turn clock that a Lightning Bolt to the face actually causes him. He's going to go get another green source.
Yeah, in the match we saw Kurt earlier, completely decimated his opponents. He had removal spell and enough to wasteland away every land his opponent played. So his opponent was stuck with like nothing in play. And now it looks like Karma's coming back, and Kurt really has just 2 permanents in play.
It's just how this can go sometimes.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Oh, he just wants to make sure it's not Lightning Boltable, but did he just lose Threshold?
Oh, it looks close,
No, he did
but
not.
yeah, I'm
he
sure
has
he.
Threshold. Yeah, just
Yeah,
scoops it up.
Kurt's
Can't
gonna
beat
scoop it up. And yeah, it was all about that. I mean, that Stifle really turned the tide, I think, because Kurt had the library coming.
Yeah, and he would have been able to have a Lightning Bolt active for when Scavengers hit the board.
Right.
And yeah, it would have been much better than a Spell Pierce there. And I think in this matchup, Stifle's really good. And Stifle's getting better. I started playing Rug Delver back at the Invitational, and Spell Pierce was much better because everyone played around Stifle, but not Spell Pierce. But it's coming back around where everyone is playing around Spell Pierce, but not Stifle. And so you can really take an advantage when you have that in your deck. So we get to move to sideboards now.
Yeah, Eric actually has Spell Pierce and Stifle. Just 2 copies of Pierce, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have the full
he's kind of hedging his bets there, but packing all 4 Stifles.
All right, so after sideboard, Crane should be bringing in Force Emerge, a Life from the Loam, Pyroblast. Wow, he's got a blue Elemental Blast. That's crazy. But yeah, so he'll bring in a Pyroblast, a Life from the Loam, and Submerges, and he's going to take out most of his counter package. So he'll take out his 4 Force of the Wills and as many Dazes and Spell Pierce as he can, but because he's 4'd up on all of them to beat the combo decks, he's going to have to keep some of these counter spells in, and they're a little awkward. I guess he could maybe kind of get saucy and bring a Gilded Drake in.
That would be pretty interesting, but I don't know.
I mean, it's not great.
Meant for this matchup.
Yeah, it's
really.
not great, but neither is Daze and Spell Pierce.
That's true. Yeah, on Eric's side, it's a similar plan, although he's got some different cards. Obviously,
Well, he's
just
got a Mind
one.
Harness.
What is it? Mind Harness? I don't even remember.
Blue Community Upkeep of 1, gain control of a red or green creature.
Okay.
And so it's a 1 blue, gain control of a Goyf, and then every turn you have to pay 1 and then 2 and then 3 mana.
Okay.
Enough to kill a person.
Right.
He could bring in his Kitchen Finks even, and he'll bring in his 2 Rebs. And
he's got a Pyroblast.
His 1 Submerge and a Pyroblast, and his Life from the Loam. I definitely love when this matchup breaks down into Life from the Loam, when both players have it. They're such interesting games. But yeah, so that's how the board usually comes out. You take a lot of your counter spells out because they're not good, and you board in these removal spells and Life from the Loam just to make sure you can not just get wastelanded out of the game.
So, what do you think of Standard right now? Everybody's was afraid of Delver.
I think it's fine. I'm not going to give any of my secrets. Invitational's 2 weeks away,
That's
but
fair.
I have a deck on my mind. I'm going to be playing Moto for the next couple of weeks, and if I show up with Delver in 2 weeks, the next two weeks are going to be a disappointment for me. I definitely am going to be sad when I walk into the room with Delver secrets.
Yeah. because you want to be playing something
Yeah,
else that you have to save
I'm
for the
pretty sure,
Invitational.
yeah, I'm pretty sure something else is going to pop up. Hopefully it does. Everyone is playing these like outdated aggro decks that don't have really a good chance of beating Delver, but there's so many ways you can actually attack it. I think Dungrove is a great way. I wrote about this last week.
Right.
Where it's this like really aggressive hexproof Dungrove deck with a ton of Thruns, because Thrun is much better than Huntmaster right now because of what Angel does. And it runs a bunch of bonfires. And so every threat you need to respond to. Whereas these pod decks that want to gain value with Huntmaster, well, you can tempo them out with a probe and an Angel. They go Huntmaster, you just pay for Xyz mana with a probe, say go. They can't flip their Huntmaster, they can't attack into an Angel. That's the problem with these red-green decks, where Thrun is a big solution to that. I think Bonfire is great in the format. Like the Dungrove deck, if I had a couple more days to test it, I probably would have played it yesterday, but just didn't get there, and I couldn't pull the trigger. It's difficult to get Ponders out of my hand.
Yeah,
it really is.
The thing that, like, I get your logic about Thrun over Huntmaster, but the thing that makes me hesitant to go in that direction is so many Phantasmal Images in the format. You know, like to deal with Thrun. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like
then a Delver deck can bring in their images to get my Thruns. I mean, I still have Dungroves, I have Primeval Titans. Yeah. That's fine. Like, image is great and it's good, and it's one of the reasons you don't want to play too many Titans in decks. Like, you don't want Titan to just be your only way to win a game. But if you're not fighting with these cards, I don't know how you're going to beat Delver, because it's all over the place. Like, it can do so many different things.
So you're just like willing to concede that kind of like, okay, you're going to use your images for my Thruns. I'll just beat you with other guys.
Just rock, paper, scissors, right? Like, if they don't have the correct cards in their hand to beat your hand, but you can't play their game with them. You can't just be killing their Angels and with like Combusts or Plummets or anything, or trying to beat them with swords when they're already prepared with Vapor Snakes.
Right.
You either have to just play a complete hexproof sword or no sword at all.
Did you see Belfado's deck that won? It was just the Esper Control.
I saw the list. I like Esper Control, and I think I'm going to work on it, but I don't like a lot of his card choices. But anyway, sack land for Kurt.
We're in.
And there comes a Tropical. Pretty standard play for this matchup. Yeah, and he just says go. He's playing around Stifle. It's always a coin flip, like, to play around Stifle or Wasteland. So I don't really know usually what I want to do. Like, if I was in Kurt's position, I probably would have played around Wasteland and not Stifle, just because then he can't do anything with his turn, and you can just play draw go for a little bit.
It looks like there's definitely a Wasteland there in Eric's hand. Can't quite see if there's a Stifle or not, but...
So yeah, Wasteland hits Kurt. He's going to Brainstorm.
Evan Irwin on Twitter. Eric Rill keeps it, well, you know. Keeping it real with the Rug Delver.
Evan's turning into one of my favorite people on the planet. Like,
you mean he wasn't already one of your favorite people on the planet?
He's just climbing the ladder.
All right.
All right, so we found a Flooded Strand, and we have plenty of lands now. Now I go to work, record some videos, and then just like go sit in the back and just like hang out for like 5 minutes while they just want to joke around, and then when they want to get back to work, then I just leave. Just gotta get some Evan time in every day.
SCG problems.
Yeah, because we ball so hard.
Roanoke problems. All right, finally some lands seem to be sticking in play.
A basic island?
Wow. He only has one. There it is.
Eric does keep it real. That is amazing. Come on, Wasteland me, bro. All right, so he draws a Thunderbolt. And keeps Thunderbolts in, huh? Yeah, because he has so many counter spells. I usually board a few of those out. Alright, so Brainstorm, end of turn for Eric, is going to get met by playing around Stifle all game long, Kurt Crane.
Are you calling Lightning Bolt Thunderbolt? Or were you just said Thunderbolt?
Did I say Thunderbolt?
Yeah,
I meant
like,
Forked Bolt.
You mean, yeah, I was like, either you're talking about Lightning Bolt or Forked Bolt. Because Thunderbolt, I have not seen that.
Correction.
In
Forked
Legacy.
Bolt.
Yeah. Although it did just get reprinted in Avacyn Restore.
Alright, so
And
Spell Pierce hits Brainstorm. Since he sees an island, he maybe thinks that he can color screw his opponent off of the other colors. So
yeah, but it looks like Eric's just fine. He's got a Wasteland, he's got a
Delver.
Volcanic Island, he's got a Delver. There's the Wasteland. There's the Delver.
Well, so he must 100% be going for the Trop. Yeah.
Resolves, goes ahead and wastes the Trop, playing around Daze a little bit. Make sure the Delver resolves.
Yeah, best way to do it. So now I think Kurt's going to play around Daze, since he's not going to be able to, after the Force Gone, he's not going to be able to Daze on the right side anyway, but does he really want to waste both removal spells to kill a Delver and a Daze? Yeah, he's not going to.
Yeah, so he just lets the Wasteland go ahead and take out the Trop, and draws for his turn. Looks like a Volcanic Island.
Fork Bolt 1 and 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kurt's also in a bad position. No card fixing, no green mana. And Eric is just taking over the driver's seat. Keeps his forces in, that's interesting.
Volcanic Island from Eric passes back, so there's Tarmogoyf. He's got Goyf, Submerge, Wasteland. Is it double Goyf? Submerge, Wasteland,
Yeah,
Lightning
he just
Bolt.
ripped another Goyf.
Legacy players, if you are X1 or better at the end of this round, and you do not have your...
There's Life from the Loam, which is really awkward.
Yeah, if he hits green
Set up, you will save a bunch of time at the end
and
of the
Eric can't find a Wasteland, that card's just going to take over the game.
Come on to the stage, you will be filled out your paperwork.
Yeah, well, we found a Brainstorm.
Yeah.
I would probably play that Brainstorm right now.
Just for a land drop kind of
Yeah,
thing?
just to try to get some board advantage. Like if your opponent keeps missing on green and you can finally just start casting spells, even if it's put a couple back, find a Ponder, like just mix your hand up.
Looks like he drew into a tropical island. There's that Trop. Here
And
comes.
we're gonna have some Wild Mongrel action.
Yeah. Nimble Mongoose.
Nimble Mongoose.
Yeah.
I cannot get my names correct today, can I?
It's a Wild Mongrel. Sure.
It's been a really rough one for me. In both opens, I have a combined total of 1 win.
Ponder from Kurt. I have a nickname for Nimble Mongoose. It's Wild Mongrel.
Yeah.
I call it Wild. I call Fork Bolt Thunderbolt. Just call them other card names. Why not?
Any of you close friends watching, you have been with me card for card, and you understand it.
I mean, they both were in Odyssey, and well, I was going to say they were both uncommons, but I think Wild Mongrel was a common.
It was a common. So we shuffled up that Ponder.
I think they both may be the same artist too. Anthony Waters, I believe.
It would be unreal if you know this information.
I might be right. Let's check. I'm sure Anthony Waters did Wild Mongrel.
So
There's a Wasteland.
Gets stifled. And should get dazed.
Therese
yeah.
Nielsen. Okay, Therese Nielsen was Nimble Mongoose.
She's one of my favorites.
She is. I didn't realize that she had done Mongoose though.
Alright. Daze, is it going to get forced?
Anthony S. Waters from Mongrel. Yeah.
So Stifle gets dazed, and Eric did not decide to force it back. He's okay just not having green anymore since Wild Mongrel, Nimble Mongoose.
Now there's a Wild Mongrel
Yeah.
on the screen over here, so I gotta get that out of your face.
Scalding Tarn's gonna go get a Trop, and he's gonna get some more Nimble Mongooses on the board. Are they Mongoose?
I don't know. I say all of them. Say mongooses, mongeese, guys. Come on, guys. I don't know. I'm sure Twitter will tell us, and they'll have
It was the correct.
Yeah, they'll have different
wording.
answers too. That's what
Yeah.
seems to happen. Somebody's like, no, it's this, and then somebody else, no, it's this. That's why I don't remember.
Monguila, maybe that's what we'll call it.
Monguila. And there's one. I don't believe he has Threshold, but he might be. Might be close.
Our names are blocking it.
Yeah. Second mongoose.
This is looking very bad for Kurt.
It's mongooses, says Bing Luke.
He knows.
He does know, I bet. So we'll go with mongooses. And there's some mongooses in the red zone. Kurt Crane down a game, taking some mongoose beats.
All right, Wasteland is not going to help.
Kurt Crane cannot draw a green to save his match. I mean,
that's what happens sometimes.
he's got 3 spells that would be just ideal right now that he would love to cast.
Yes.
That cost green mana.
Just an Allurn. Just put an Allurn into play.
Yeah, why not? Wasteland, your drop, I guess. Yeah, the drops. I was like, wait a second,
Well,
he
you
can't
can't
waste
waste
the basic island.
I mean, even though he's going down, he's not going to let spells resolve. Lightning
Yeah,
Bolt
so there it is.
scoops it
Eric
up.
Rill keeping it real tough for his opponent to draw green mana, and
The crazy sideboard.
yeah.
Do you know if these guys were undefeated or?
I'm not sure. What are the records of these players? Do you guys know? Records of these guys? The X1? They were table 1, so X and O. Awesome. Okay, that's right. They were table 1. I remember hearing